Hello, fellow fantasy sports fans. Welcome to MFSN's Basketball Waiver Wire. I'm here as always. Oh, I should say who I am. I'm Dr. Dan Ratner. I'm here with Vlad to the Bone, Casey Scheinvold, and Ross the Boss.
Hi, everybody. I'm Ross the Boss, and I want to talk fantasy basketball waiver wire pickup with you, cowboy. It's the opening day of baseball. I'm sitting here with two idiots talking about fantasy basketball. I have no idea what I'm doing here. I want to watch baseball. You want to watch baseball. But the sad thing is, you're in the middle of like making the playoffs or a basketball team. You got to pick up the right player. I see the Guerrero jersey. I love it. But this is a very important week for you because, again, it's weeks. There's only a few weeks left in the waiver wire, and you got to pick up the right players for your playoff run if you want to win the league.
Okay, Ross, this is a great point. It's a great point. This is the point in the season where you have to bear down. You know, you're gonna have distractions. You're gonna have fantasy baseball creeping in a dynasty football league. The draft is coming up. You got all these distractions. If you want to win your league, you need to not be distracted. You need to focus right now and pay attention to who to pick up. We're also going to get to today people that you can cut. At this point in the season, there's lots of people you can cut. So it's not just about who to pick up. It's also who to get rid of. So we're going to get into that. I want to remind everybody, this is 60% and under rostership on Yahoo. Lots of different leagues. So you got to apply it to what works in your league. I also want to say, if you haven't already, click subscribe, ring the bell for notifications, hit like if you like what you're hearing, and put your comments below. We've been having some great debates in the comment chat boards, and we're looking forward to continuing that. So let's get started with point guards. Casey, we're going to start with you.
Well,
who do you got?
I think in point guards, there's only a couple. And I mean, one we've talked to death. I think that's Nunn in Miami is still a top 60 player by average. He's playing a lot of minutes. He's putting up points. He's getting assists. He's chipping in on rebounds. The other one is, in going through the numbers, I haven't even heard of this guy, but he's a Clevelander, Dan. And it's interesting because his position qualification is point guard, power forward, and center. There's this
I've never heard of that.
Dean Wade. I've never heard of it also. And it was D Wade in the initials. So I had to look it up because I was like, Dwayne Wade came back as a center. But no, this is a guy who's averaging 30 minutes a game over the last week, playing in all the games. And he's getting 8 points, 5 boards, 2 steals, a block. 2 assists, over a steal a game and a block a game. So he's contributing across the board. So I just thought it was really unique that there was a guy who qualified at power forward, point guard, and center.
You almost have to pick him up just out of obligation.
Who is that, Magic Johnson? Who is that guy?
I know, it's Dean Wade.
That's unbelievable, Dean Wade. Dean Warmer, I remember him. He was unbelievable for the college. He was great. But Dean Wade, I don't even know who this guy is. I got to look him up now.
Wait, who's Dean Warmer?
Dean Warmer was the dean in Animal House.
Oh, jeez.
See, I thought you were talking about Wormser from Revenge of the Nerds.
That's a good one too. I like that
nice.
one. No, I'm talking about the guy from Animal House. Sorry.
Okay, so I
guys
didn't
are
know
too
about
young, but
Dean
keep
Wade.
going.
I did know about Dean Wade. I didn't know about his position eligibility, so that's good.
It's unbelievable. It's like Magic Johnson when he played center and guard and forward. It was unbelievable. But I got to look this guy up.
I don't want to pour cold water on anybody's hot topic, but Kendrick Nunn is pointing down because Victor Oladipo just came in. I just wanted to say. I've had him top of my list, but with Oladipo coming in, Ross, what do you think is going to happen? You're a Kendrick Nunn owner.
Okay, get rid of Nunn, cut him, get rid of him. He's not going to, his numbers are going to wait. Every week it's getting worse and worse. I should have traded him to you a long time ago. Huge mistake. I didn't. But Kendrick Nunn, not a guy you should pick up right now. But if you're really desperate, but I have some other names that are better. I want to go through my list too when you guys want me to talk.
Go ahead. It's your turn.
So I want to mention Jordan Poole, not Jordan Peele, the director actor. Jordan Poole. We mentioned him last week. He plays for Golden State. He was a rookie last year, had a horrible rookie season. He's back this season. He's playing 30 minutes a game, hitting threes. Curry's hurt. Curry's going to come back. He'll still get playing time. Poole's playing unbelievable. He's available in a lot of your leagues. Pick him up. He'll be playing the rest of the season. Even with Curry healthy, he's a great pickup. Dennis Smith Jr., he was traded to Detroit. And he's hurt right now. He's not playing. He's hurt. So I don't want to say, Ross, he's not playing. I know he's not playing, you idiot. What I'm saying is this. You pick him up now because he's going to be their point guard. He'll be scoring, getting assists. Get him now. He'll be a great pickup for a playoff run. Trust me on this.
Hey, Ross, what do you think of Reggie Jackson there in the Clips?
We're not there yet, but
He's
Reggie
a point
Jackson.
guard. He's playing 31 minutes a game.
Yeah, but hold on. You're too quick. Let's talk about the Clippers. You brought it up. Rondo is now a Clipper. He's hurt. You're saying like, oh, he's not playing. I know he's not playing, you dimwit. What I'm saying is this. Rondo is going to be playing point guard. He'll take minutes away from Reggie. I like Reggie Jackson. Love his name. Is iconic, as we all know. But again, Rondo is going to be running the show there. He'll get a lot of assists. He's not the greatest shooter. If you need a point, if you guy with points, don't pick up Rondo. If you want steals and assists, that's your guy. But Rondo's will be a big, big asset for the Clippers. I'm excited to watch him play there. And I know Lou Williams is now a Atlanta Hawk, which is great because Atlanta Hawk, that's where he's from. He played high school ball there. Lou's back in his hometown. He'll be great with points, but again, Lou won't get you assists. He won't get you rebounds. But if you need points, Lou Williams is going to be a great pickup. He'll tear it up in Atlanta. TJ McConnell, we talked about him a million times. He's still available. He gets a lot of assists and a lot of steals. If you need steals and assists in your league, TJ could be your guy. I know my boy Casey Scheinfeld loves him, and people drop him all the time. I know you're a fan. I like him a lot. And then the last guy I talked about last time is Quickly for the Knicks. His minutes are going up every week. He does all 5 categories. He's great at. So if you need somebody for all 5 categories, I still like Quickly for the Knicks, even though it's a weird situation there with all their guards they have, but we'll see what happens.
All right, now Ross, I don't want you saying I don't let you talk because you just went on like a blue streak. It was like for 5 minutes, and you were doing great.
But keep going.
No, you were doing great. Listen, you've been watching a lot of Key and Pool, and the great comedy
you
show.
Idiot.
Oh, Key and Peele. All right. Well, listen. So TJ McConnell is definitely somebody we've been talking about. You called him TJ McDowell, I believe.
McDowell does say McDowell. It's funny.
Listen, every once in a while when you say one, I just have to call it out. It's like McDowell.
No, it's funny because I just watched Coming to America, and that was it's funny. Okay, keep going.
So, DeAnthony Melton is somebody we've been mentioning a lot. I just want to put him on everybody's radar again. He's still
high
out
school.
there.
Yep.
One other guy that can provide a lot of good value is he's not Irish, but I like to call him Patty Mills. Patty Mills. He's providing good value, even though he's on the Spurs. Spurs players are terrible, generally speaking, because of Popovich. Not because he's a bad coach, because he's one of the best of all time, but because he's a bad fantasy coach. He's the Lucifer of basketball. So, even so, Patty Mills is worth a pickup. Guys, let's move on to shooting guard. All right? This time, I'm going to let you go first, Ross, even though you dominated the point guard conversation.
Well, shooting guard for me was the weakest category this week. I don't have many, but there's some repeaters. I still like Nikolai Alexander-Walker. He plays for your New Orleans team. He 30 minutes a game. He's getting points, getting assists. He even gets some steals here and there. It's a good pickup. He'll be playing a lot during the whole rest of the run. Another guy that's getting playing time. He's hurt off and on. Is Derrick Rose for the Knicks. I know you're saying, Ross, you're picking all these Knicks. What the hell are you doing? Derrick Rose is another guy. I think he'll be good during the playoff run. The Knicks are trying to make the playoffs. They're in the playoff hunt. I think Derrick Rose will be a big part of it. So picking up Derrick Rose could be a great asset to your team. And my last one, you're going to hate me for this, Dan. I'm going to say his name because his stats are so good. He's averaging like 19 points. The past 2 weeks, he's been averaging like 19 points, 6 assists, two whatever. But it's Alec Burks.
Of course it is.
I said it. I know we don't like him, but I have to give him his props. The past 2 weeks, he's been killing it, and he plays for your Knicks.
Dan's fine with it because he's no longer on Andrew's team.
That's right. But I'm just saying, so those are my point guards. Go ahead, guys.
Okay, wait.
I want to just...
Go ahead, Casey.
I was going to say, I agree that shooting guard isn't incredibly strong, but going on what a theme that Dan particularly has talked about all season long when preparing for the playoffs, I think to me, the number one pickup right now is a shooting guard, and that's Danny Green for Philadelphia, because we've talked about it at length that specialists can be extra powerful when you're trying just to win 5-4 in the playoffs to survive and advance. And Danny Green over the last week is averaging over 5 3-pointers a game. And that alone is enough to carry a category sometimes. And his percentages are good. He's not going to hurt you anywhere. He's still chipping in. He's still chipping in a steal, a block a game, a steal a game. He's getting a few assists, almost 18 points. Like, how can you not own that going into the playoffs as a way to get you like points in a category that's not easy to find?
This is why I said all along, draft Danny Green. He shouldn't be on your waiver wire. He's owned in only 47%.
And guys, in the past 2 weeks, he's in the top 25 players in the whole NBA.
That's why I think he's the number one ad right now. Because we're 2 weeks out from the playoffs.
I agree. I had him as a small forward actually, but that's fine. I get it. It's a great pickup. I was saving him, but
you add him either place.
But again, KC Scheinfeld to the rescue. Great pickup.
Yes, in basketball terms, you hit the ball out of the park. Now listen. Oh, wait, I mixed up my metaphors. Opening day though. Joe Ingles, average Joe. He's ranked 36th overall in Yahoo over the last 30. He was another one that I said draft. If you had listened to me about Danny Green and Joe Ingles, you'd have them both on your team. And Danny Green, meanwhile, he contributes steals and blocks while hitting threes. And his percentages are good. He's absolutely the number one pickup. I totally agree with you, Casey. Jayshawn Tate, still out there. He's added power forward eligibility as well. So it just adds to his value. TJ McConnell actually qualifies as shooting guard. So does D'Anthony Melton. There's so much multi-eligibility in basketball, but it's the shooting guard small forwards that we know that I love because you can play them in those random spots. And one of those guys is Dylan Brooks. Now, our league has a history with Dylan Brooks. Ross, you traded him to Andrew you traded Kelly Oubre for Dylan Brooks, but then you cut him and he ended up on my team. How are you feeling about this?
Dylan Brooks is a weird situation. He's a points guy. He's not going to help you really with any other category. If you need points, it's a great pickup. He's averaging, I think the past 2 weeks, 18 points a game. He's doing great. He kills you with the other categories. He's not going to help you at all, but he's a decent fantasy
All right,
player.
wait, which categories does he kill you? And I want to hear this.
He kills you with, he's not a rebounder. He's not an assist guy. Go look it up.
But he does get steals. He hits a decent amount of threes.
I'm not there yet. His defense is fine, but with rebounds and assists, he's not that great. That's it.
That's true. But
I do like him. He went to he's a Pac-12 guy. He went to Oregon. I do like him. Nothing against him, but you do stupid things during the season. I should have kept him. What do you want me to say?
That's exactly what I wanted you to say.
That was what he was hoping.
Thank you, Ross.
I'd also like to add Diallo to the list. He was traded to Detroit. He's getting good minutes there, and he's putting up numbers across the board with good percentages. So he's another one who you can add. But still, for some reason, I know we've talked about him a bunch, but he's 39% owned in Detroit, and he's a shooting guard, small forward. So it's Dan's favorite can qualify at 4 different spots on your roster. He's another one who is worth a pickup, I think, at this point.
Totally agree. And I'm gonna argue with you guys about the fact that shooting guard is thin. I actually think it is the deepest position of ads. I'm looking at it. There's just tons of them.
There's a lot of guys that are shooting guards, small forwards. Like I had Dylan Brooks as a small forward.
All right, listen. If
so
you
keep going.
Them,
I mean, I just
mixed it up. I get whatever. You. But there's Josh Richardson. There's Matisse Thybulle. He's a guy I've been talking about. Yeah. 23 steals in the last 30 days. 23 steals while getting 13 blocks. He's going to kill you in those other categories, Ross. He's a Dylan Brooks of the other side. He's not going to score anything. So you got to watch out for that. But
the anti-Dylan Brooks.
We've got players like Jalen Noel, Jordan Poole qualifies as shooting guard. We already talked about that. Josh Hart is down to 42% ownership. He's a guy who'll get you lots of rebounds. So it's all about
rebound machine. He's unbelievable with rebounds. If you need rebounds, Josh Hart's your guy. He's not going to get your points, but he'll get your rebounds. You're 1,000% right.
All right. Anybody else we need to mention before we go to small forward? And we know there's a lot of overlap in the players we're talking about. No? All right. Casey, you get to start us off
with small forward
this time.
Okay. Well, we can say Danny Green again, so Ross feels like he was brought there too. But Bogdan Bogdanovic. It's not fun to say in Atlanta. He's putting up decent numbers. He's going to get you some threes. He gets a lot of Is it steals? No, he gets steals out of the small forward position for you. He qualifies at both forward positions and shooting guard. He's somebody I have as a decent ad. Dylan McDermott, again, is still somebody who's on the fringe of being owned, although he's trending in the wrong direction.
Wait. Hold on. Did you say Dylan McDermott?
I'm Dylan McDermott. McDermott.
I just needed to say, do not add Dylan McDermott. He's a good actor.
Right.
He will get you nothing in this league.
Doug McDermott, sorry, he's trending in the wrong direction, but he's still okay. He wouldn't be a huge ad for me. And then is it Terrence Mann, I think, for the Clippers
LA Clippers,
also?
Terrence Mann, Florida State University. I love him a lot.
He's doing okay too. You can pick him up to help you with points and rebounds also. He gets a lot of rebounds for a small forward.
Now, listen, for those of you out there who haven't already, click subscribe, ring the bell for notifications, hit like if you like what you're hearing, and put your comments below. We'll answer you personally.
And tell us your favorite Dylan McDermott movie.
Yeah, and meanwhile, look, there's a lot of pop culture going on. You just said Terrence Mann. Do you know who Terrence Mann is from movies? Terrence Mann was James Earl Jones in Field of Dreams. That's Terrence Mann.
He was.
What? He showed up? He came out of the cornfield? My God. All right, now listen. Oh, I also should say, if you want to come on the show,
I think that was Peace, Love, Dope, wasn't it?
What's that?
Peace, Love, Dope is what he would say.
I thought you said Peace, Love, Goat, because,
no,
the greatest of all times on my mind. So listen, if you want to come on the show, go to www.callmfsn.com. You can also come on just audio if you don't want to come on video. So, Ross, who do you have in the small forward department?
So I too had Terrence Mann, Florida State product. He's getting a lot of playing time because Paul George is not playing all the time. You'll see Kawhi sitting a lot during the playoff run. He wants to save himself for the playoffs. You'll be seeing a lot of Terrence Mann. He's been playing great. A lot of rebounds. I think he's averaging 6 the past 2 weeks, 12 points a game the past 2 weeks. His numbers going up. He's somebody that you should be aware of. You should pick up if you need somebody at the small forward position. I like Otto Porter Jr., even though he only averages 8 points a game the past 2 weeks. He gets you rebounds. He gets you assists. He's a great defender. He plays for your Orlando Magic. He was just recently traded. And the other ones we already talked about, so I'm not going to repeat myself.
All right. Well, I am going to repeat myself, and there's a reason why. Because on this show, it really is partly our job to repeat ourselves. If you aren't picking up the players that need to be picked up, you got to pick them up. So I'm just going to run through some guys. We may have even already mentioned them in the shooting guard category. You need to know they're available at small forward. If that's where your need is, Danny Green, Joe Ingles, Jayshawn Tate, they all qualify. Dylan Brooks qualifies. A guy that we haven't mentioned is Jay Crowder. He's not the sexiest dad,
Blocks.
But listen, he scores a decent amount of points. He gets a decent amount of everything. I'm not saying I'd be excited to own him, but I'd rather have him on the back end. And let me make a small point about this. If you're going into a playoff matchup and let's say you got Joe Ingles, but Joe Ingles is going to play only 2 games that week, and you can get Jay Crowder for 4, I'm taking that every time. Even if Joe Ingles has 3 games and Crowder has 4, I'm going to go Crowder. You guys agree with this?
I do.
Oh, wow. That was a long pause.
I mean, Crowder's such a...
I didn't expect that.
I like Crowder because of his blocks. Yeah. I mean, he's averaging well over a block a game in the past.
Listen, hold on. Let me rewind and rephrase what I was saying.
I understand.
It's not about
what you're
Crowder.
Saying. Because we're looking at cumulative stats, why not take the one, even if he averages a little less per game? If he's playing an extra game every week, he'll get you more numbers. And so, yeah, I agree with that premise. As long as the shooting percentages don't hurt you. Because if he's taking more shots at a worse percentage, he can actually hurt you in a couple categories.
Okay, that is a fair point. So, do we have anybody else at small forward that we have not mentioned? It's last call. I mean, Sadiq Bey is still sitting out there. He ranks 100th overall. I mean, he's faded. He's not been the dominant force we hoped he would be. But he's still a very good player. So, I think he's worth a pickup. Gary Trent Jr. to me has faded off the charts. He's somebody I'd cut. We'll get to the cut soon. Let's jump to power forward. This time, I'm going to start us off at power forward. Now, listen, Kelly Olynyk is a player that his value's gone down. He went from the Heat to the Rockets. That context is a problem, but I still think he's going to provide value. So he's near the top of my list of power forward ads. And by the way, I would say power forward and center are far more thin than shooting guard.
Yes.
So that's just an argument I'm going to put out there. Ross, let's go to you.
Kelly Olynyk, you sound like this guy is not doing well. Kelly is actually like a top 40 player in the past 2 weeks. I mean, he classifies as a center too, if you need a center. Kelly's a great pickup. I had him top of my list when it comes to power forwards. Another guy I like right now because he's getting a lot of playing time because they're shutting down Joe. They're shutting down what's his name for the Oklahoma City, but Isaiah Ruby is going to be taking over a lot of playing time for that position at power forward. Isaiah Ruby right now is averaging, I know he's just averaging 10 points a game, but he's 7 rebounds, 1 block, and almost 1 steal a game right now. So Isaiah Ruby is going to get a lot more playing time because Al Horford is cut off for the whole season. So he's somebody, I love saying this name. I like how Dan says this next guy's name. I can never say it great. Chama Okiki. Did I say it right?
Okiki, you nailed it.
You say it for me.
Okiki.
Okiki.
You want me to say the first name too? Is that what you're saying?
No, I just like you say Okiki. That's all.
Okiki.
So
It's fun to say Okiki.
Okiki's going to get a lot
Thank
of
you for
playing
that.
time. He's averaging 10 points in the past 2 weeks, 10 points, 7 rebounds, 1 block. He's somebody that's going to, in Orlando, they're very thin in talent down there because they traded some people away. They got some new people in, but Okiki is part of their big plan, and you should pick him up if you want a good power forward who's going to get more minutes now. Another guy that you bring up every week, and I'll give you some credit this week because Robertson is out for the rest of the season for the Knicks. He's their center / power forward is Mr. Noel.
Thank you.
Noel is going to be he'll get a lot more playing time. He'll be playing a lot more as you see for the Knicks. So right now is a good time to pick him up because Mitchell Robinson's out for the year.
Okay. Now I do want to make a point in all seriousness. When you're working on the wire in general, the reason I've been pushing Nerlens Noel is for these kinds of moments. He's still providing value even when this isn't happening. When this does happen, he becomes a complete difference.
I give you credit. I said
no, I know. I'm not saying
I give you total credit. Instead of taking the credit, you got to give yourself more credit.
Well, that's not taking the credit. I'm just heaping it on myself.
He's just feeling he deserves
unbelievable.
More.
No, it's not about me. It is about the viewers, Ross. I'm looking out for them. You got to understand that. But I agree with you. Kelly Olynyk is the #1 power forward pickup. Just because he got traded doesn't mean his value isn't high. He's still playing really well. By the way, I noticed somebody I left. I want to jump back for a second. Tomas Satoransky, point guard, shooting guard. He's somebody you may want to add.
For the Bulls, I like that. I like that ad. I added him in one of my leagues.
I realized I didn't say him. So we're going to jump back now to power forward. Here's another guy that I have. Jaden McDaniels on Minnesota. Yes. This team is going to shut down a lot of players. I hope they don't shut down Karl Anthony Towns because I need him in the playoffs. But if they do, I may add Jaden McDaniels just as insurance because if they shut down Karl Anthony Towns, you're going to need McDaniels. But if you don't have Karl Anthony Towns, he's still a great ad. Casey, who do you have at power forward?
I had Jaden McDaniels there. That was who I was going to mention. I also have Paul Millsap. He's still only 35% owned, and he's one of those guys who gives you everything across the board. Not great, exceptional numbers, but he's steady and predictable. He qualifies at center and power forward, so I have him. We talked about Nerlens Noel. Senior on the clip joint is fading, but he's still putting up enough numbers to be relevant. You call him senior, right, Ross? We're talking about the Morris brothers. One of them.
I call them when that plays for the Clippers. I call senior. Correct.
And Blake Griffin is playing into some level of relevance in New Jersey, Brooklyn, wherever he is now, and so he's still only 50% owned. So those are a couple other players who play power forward that to me are addable. And Bogdanovich, we mentioned him in the small forward, but he also qualifies somehow at power forward. So he's somebody else.
So listen, if you're looking to pick up somebody who's very uninspiring with a very tepid recommendation, Blake Griffin's your man.
Exactly.
Now, I love the way you said it, but okay, we're going to move to centers now. Centers often one of the thinnest positions. We already mentioned Kelly Olynyk qualifies there, so that makes him all the more valuable. Ross, who do you have at center?
I said his name last week, and I said, you know what? He's not starting, but he's coming up the bench. But then he's putting up numbers. Is Dwight Howard? I know Embiid's out. I know he's filling the gap for Embiid, but I feel Dwight Howard's still going to get playing time when Embiid comes back. I think Embiid is back this Saturday. That's the rumor going around town. I don't know if it's true. I can't confirm it with anybody, but I believe Embiid will be back. Even with Embiid back, I think Dwight Howard's going to still get playing time. He's averaging 11 points, 13 rebounds, 1 block a game the past 2 weeks. I don't see them giving him less playing time. They signed him for big money, so you know he's going to be playing, and he wants to play. He loves playing basketball. So Dwight Howard could be a great pickup for you. Another name, I don't know I think he's still under 60%. I think I said his name 3 weeks ago, and now he's like just blossoming in fantasy basketball, is Moses Brown, UCLA product. Can you imagine Moses Brown playing for UCLA this year? He left school early. He could easily be in the top and be in that team that's playing the Final Four.
Wait, let me make a comment about that. If Moses Brown were on UCLA, they'd be in the Final Four right now.
They are in the Final Four. I'm saying they could be Gonzaga with Moses Brown. What I'm saying is this: Moses Brown is playing great. If he's available in your league, pick him up. If he's available in your league, pick him up immediately. Don't even just cut off our show right now and pick up Moses Brown immediately. And come back.
Yes, go do it. In fact, Casey, we're going to go to you. We're going to go to you, and I'm going to check what level of rostership Moses Brown is at because he is a must-add. He's getting rebounds, he's getting blocks, He even gets points. He's definitely a pickup if he's available. But Casey, who else do you have at center while I check these numbers?
I just want to add one name, although I think he just recently got injured. So I'm not sure what the injury is, but that's Daniel Gafford in Washington. I guess he was part of the flurry of, somehow he's getting minutes now. He's taken over for Robert Williams' place as the per minute monster because he's only playing 14 minutes a game or 15 minutes a game. But in that time, he's getting 12 blocks, more than 12 points, more than 5 boards, and more than 2 blocks per game. Again, I'm not sure the injury. I'd have to check. I just looked at it this second. Let me see what it says. Hold on.
Well, we'll come back to you on it while you're researching it. But
okay. I'd appreciate that.
What Casey's saying, though, is really important. If you're looking for a back-end guy to own and they're a per-minute efficiency monster, that's a good player to add. I'm going to say Ivica Zubac has been very good, but, is he going to be as good with Andre Drummond coming in? No, Andre Drummond went to the Lakers. I mean, with Cousins coming in.
I want to talk about it real quick about Cousins.
Yeah.
Cousins is when he comes to the team, he'll play until Chewbacca comes back. When he comes back, Cousins will be third string again. He won't be in the rotation. So Cousins is not a pickup for me. I don't think he'll get a lot of playing time. I do like him, though, on the Clippers. I think it's a great guy to have on your team. A lot of leadership there. But that all being said, Cousins is not your answer at center.
I agree. Did you just say something about Chewbacca?
How do you say his name again? He plays for the Clippers, played for Toronto.
Ibaka. Serge Ibaka.
Ibaka. Sorry.
Okay. I was like, I think he said to add Chewbacca. I'm going to ask.
Add Chewbacca. I get mixed up.
Okay. So Nerlens Noel also we're going to mention again because he qualifies at center. He's even more of a priority at center because it just and Moses Brown, by the way, I checked 66% owned.
66.
That's still pretty relevant though, Ross. I mean,
God, he went up when I picked him up. It was like 6%.
And now here I'm going to give you credit. The person who told me to pick up Moses Brown was Ross the boss, and I did it, and it is paying dividends, and I'm going to ride it to the championship. So thank you, sir. That was all you. Now, let's say last call on any guys we think we should pick up, and then we're going to move into guys that you can cut if you need to add these guys or if you want to add these guys. Anybody else at any of the positions? No? Going once? Going twice? Bueller? Okay. We're going to move on to players that you can cut. You can move on from these players. And Ross, I'm going to give you a double dose of credit. Okay? You ready? Are you ready for this? I want to hear you're ready.
I'm ready.
Okay. Oh, he's so excited.
What is it?
Okay, listen. Nicholas Batum. I was talking him up earlier in the year, and you said he's fading. He's fading. Get rid of him. I not only should have listened, I did listen. I actually got rid of him like 3 weeks after I was talking him up. So listen, every fantasy expert is going to make their mistakes. That was one of mine. He gave me some value. He's a guy you can cut.
No, he was a streamer, though, Dan. You got to give yourself credit. He had like a 3-week run where he played great. So
true.
If you had him for those 3 weeks, good for you. But he's not going to continue throughout the season.
Right. So it's time to move on from him. Casey, who's a guy you would move on from?
Well, I have Kobe White on my team, so I'm hoping that at this next waiver wire, which we can do on Monday, I can pick up one of the players we just talked about because with Sederinsky taking his minutes. Even before that, he wasn't putting up great ratios for me. I had him as a sleeper before the year, but he's been pretty much a disappointment for the last 2 months or so. So he's somebody I have on that list who, by name value, people might have hung on to him, but I think it's worth just cutting bait at this time. Okay,
now, Ross, I'm going to go to you for a second, but I want to make a point. Sometimes people have name value, and I don't really understand why. Kobe White has not earned name value. He's never done it. So I understand he has maybe name value in talent. But when you're just not seeing it translate on the court, it's hard to buy into, especially when.
Whoa. He had a great season last year. Did you look at his stats last year? Do you know anything about basketball at all? What are you talking about? Kobe White was great last year. He was averaging over 20 points a game for like 2 months. You don't know what you're talking about. He was great the first month of basketball. He had a horrible down. Now he's not playing well. I think he wants out of Chicago. He's not fitting in at all with their new system. I think Kobe White was a great one to draft, but he just faded. It's a great one to cut. But there you go. But he's a terrific player.
He listen. Okay, let me put it into context for you. Okay, did he have a lot of points? He had an okay number of points.
He's averaging 23 points a game for like 6 weeks last year. What are you talking about?
That's a great streamer. I mean, are you telling? See, what you're telling me is Kobe White is Nicholas Batum. I mean,
oh God, please
oh
write
God,
please write your questions to Dan Ratner about Kobe White and why he's not a streamer.
Okay,
but keep going.
I'll tell you. Last year, he only averaged 13.2 points a game. He had barely anything
the last 6
else.
weeks.
I'm going to throw out a name that might. I'm enjoying Ross's like.
I haven't get my list
veins
yet.
in his neck and his head. So I'm going to throw out John Morant.
Woo! Hot take.
He's
in
the last 30 days, he's ranked 200th. You know, he's shooting less than 45%. He's not shooting free throws great. He's not getting, you know, what is he getting? 3 rebounds a game.
36 points last game. What are you talking about? John Morant. He's one of the stars of the league.
I just like
cut John Morant.
Oh, no,
I'm going to trigger you.
Let's cut LeBron James, too. Let's cut
This is the guy who said cut Ezekiel Elliott in fantasy football.
Okay, let me give you some names. If you guys need roster space, you need roster space, you need to cut somebody that's probably on your roster right now that I don't feel is going to be doing anything in April. And these guys are people that you can cut. Carmelo Anthony, cut his ass now, immediately. He's
cut
not
all
doing
of him.
it.
All of him.
Cut all of him. Get rid of him.
Yeah,
he's not doing anything.
Want
cut
any
him.
of them.
Don't listen to DeLon Wright. Get rid of him. He's not doing anything anymore. His career's almost done. Tyler Hero, who's on my team, get rid of him immediately. Cut him.
I called that all year.
Tyler, shut up. Tyler Hero, Mitchell Robinson, who's hurt right now. Al Horford, who's out for the whole year, not because he's hurt, just because they don't like what his face looks like in Oklahoma City. That's the reason he's not. I don't know why he's not playing, but they shut him down for the whole.
What the implications are.
They shut him down. I think they're going for the youth movement in Oklahoma City, so he's shut down for those seasons. So you can get rid of him, Mitchell Robinson, and Kevin Huerter for Atlanta.
Huerter.
He's not
Red Velvet.
He's been hurt off and on. Came back. He's not shooting that great. He's somebody that you can cut. There's a lot of other players like him in Atlanta, especially with Lou Williams there now. So, Kevin, for me, just get rid of him.
Okay, so listen, I think next time we should have a longer period of talking about who to cut. But I also wanted to say, I don't know if you caught this, Ross, but you called Al Horford accidentally Al Horford. That's the Israeli Al Horford, and I appreciate that you said that. So it's been a great show, guys. It was fun telling you guys who to pick up, who to cut. We're going to do it again next week, same time. If you haven't already, click subscribe, ring the bell for notifications, hit like if you like what you're hearing, and put your comments below, and we will get back to you personally. Thank you for watching. This has been MFSN The Hub's Waiver Wire Basketball Show.
Oh, yeah. From Kill Cliff, the #1 clean energy drink in the mind of Joe Rogan, comes the Flamin' Joe. Sugar-free, B vitamins, electrolytes, all them good drink things. An epic spicy pineapple fusion from out of this world, straight into your drink hole. Own it. KillCliff.com.